What is going on, people? Today, I will be reviewing Us for you guys next. So, Us is directed by Jordan Peele, and it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Shahadi Wright Joseph, and Evan Alex. So, this is a pretty big film for Jordan Peele, just because it is his follow-up to his very much acclaimed film, Get Out. I didn't actually review Get Out for you guys when it came out in 4K, but I got to see it finally when it did, and I liked the movie a lot. Not as much as everybody liked it, but still, I really enjoyed how clever it was, and I liked the just the overall message behind the film. I thought it was just a really cool Twilight Zone kind of episode turned into a movie. But Get Out, it's not a horror film. That is very much a suspense film. And I really wanted to see how Jordan Peele would approach a more straight up horror film, and that is exactly what Us is. And as we get into it, I just want to preface this by saying I feel like a lot of people will go into this movie getting more along the lines of what they would expect to get out of it. It's because of the fact that it is even more traditional. So I'm going to be real high level when I talk about this particular film, just because I feel like this is a very spoiler-heavy movie, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I went into this spoiler-free, and I feel like that is definitely the way to go. So with that being said, I just want to say that Lupita Nyong'o's character of Adeline really is the focus here. I know that you don't really get that from the trailers, but her character of Adeline is very much the focus, and man, I just want to compliment Lupita just because of just her acting ability in this movie is insane. It is crazy, and man, it is the first performance this year that I have seen that just really gripped me. Now, she has a dual role here, like everybody else, just because of the doppelganger plot that is happening here. And she is definitely the one that has the most dimension and the most to do in this movie. And she just 100% pulls it off. I love seeing her as this mother who is very nurturing to her children, but always has these lingering doubts. And I honestly, I just love her as this other doppelganger side where she is still a mother, but just dark and sinister and creepy. And yeah, her performance in this movie is absolute gold and worth the price of the ticket right there for you guys. But everybody is good in this movie. You know, Winston Duke is awesome, and I just really like, you know, how these two play off of each other. You know, in so many movies, I just see particularly parent relationships that are just very forced, you know, and these relationships feel very natural, and they take stabs at each other, and they give each other the sideways glances that a lot of married people really give each other. You know, you're with the person for so much time, you tend to do that kind of stuff. And I know that my wife does it to me, and I know that's how married people actually are with each other, especially with kids. And man, this movie just nails that. There is not a false beat in their relationship. And that is big time for actually believing this hypothetical situation that these people are going to get into, because that can be kind of silly, but with these performances and with how they just ground this material, I really feel like they sell it to the audience. The child actors here are excellent, and it is so hard to find child actors that can really convey the emotions that this movie goes through, but I feel like they definitely pull it off. You can tell which child takes more after the mother and which child definitely takes more after the father in just their interactions with each other. And definitely once they get into the situations that they'll get into in this movie, I feel like that comes across tenfold. And the directing here by Jordan Peele is just really strong. I would say that up until the end, and we'll talk about that later, I would say that it is just as strong as Get Out. And it is just a different flavor. You know, this movie is creepy. This movie is just more a traditional horror movie where people creep down hallways. There are some jump scares every now and then, but they are all done in such a way that it's smart, and he just does an excellent job at taking conventional horror elements and twisting them in a way that makes them feel so fresh. There is just a level of understanding about how to handle this material that Jordan Peele displays here that is really unique. I don't feel like enough people are talking about the score of this movie. It is really, really damn good, and the way that it takes like early 90s hip-hop, like I Got Five on It, you know, that song that you'll hear in the trailers. Towards the later half of the film, they do an orchestral version of that song, and they just have like cellos and a bunch of string instruments doing an instrumental of that song, and it totally works. I love the soundtrack to this movie, and it's the same guy that did Get Out. I really liked Get Out also, but this one I feel like is even stronger. And I feel like overall this is a stronger movie than Get Out was without the political allegories that were really injected into Get Out, because there isn't a lot of that here. But what I will say is that this movie is big on plot twists, specifically towards the end half of this movie. It definitely gets into Shyamalan territory with its last twist. I really wish they would have just cut it out of the movie, and this movie would have been like so much better. It doesn't even make sense when you really think about it, but I'm not going to let that ruin this movie for me. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys either. I'm just going to say I don't think it makes sense, and I really feel like it is something that Shyamalan would come up with. But that can't ruin a movie that just has such a great cast and great performances, such strong directing, a great score, it with just a little too many plot twists that really get gimmicky towards the end half. And I've been thinking about this all day. I've been wrestling between a 8 and a 9 for this movie, but you know what? I'm going to give it a 9. This is a great horror movie, and I don't feel like that you're going to see a better horror movie out there until maybe when It Chapter 2 comes out later this year. And so next on the channel, I do have to get into Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then I still have to do Fantastic Beasts, Creed 2. I have Aquaman coming to me, and Pet Sematary. I have so much to do this week, and I will try my damnedest to get it all done for you guys. Thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't even say it because you know it, and I will see all of you next time.